Welcome back to Good Day Savannah. It's 7:45. Well, we've got the fever around here. The yellow fever, that is. That's because folks at the Davenport House are gearing up for a performance called Dreadful Pestilence, Savannah's Yellow Fever in 1820. Here to tell us all about it is director at the Davenport House Museum, Jamie Cradle. Jamie, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Well, I think sometimes people hear yellow fever and they think, what is this all about? What is going on? What kind of performance can be about yellow fever? But really, it's so interesting. You explain what you guys do.
Well, we put on a theatrical production, live theater, explaining the yellow fever epidemic of 1820. But yellow fever was prevalent throughout the Low Country for most of the 19th century. So we want people to go away understanding that, but also be entertained. So in 1820, the conditions were right for the epidemic. There was a terrible fire in January, and then wet spring and mild winter, and it was ideal conditions for the breeding of one particular type of mosquito that caused yellow fever. So it's a mosquito-borne disease, but nobody knew about it. It's very similar to things happening today in Africa. You just didn't know what was doing it. So how does a population handle this catastrophe? And so we do it in an entertaining but educational way.
Yeah, and it is such an important part of Savannah's history. So of course you're coming out learning about our history, but like you touched on, it's kind of reminiscent of what we're seeing right now with things like Ebola. I mean, a true epidemic affecting so many people. How many people were affected in Savannah?
Well, the population of Savannah was 7,000, and the mayor at some point said that you need to leave if you could, but there were populations that couldn't leave the city, and 660 people died. It's inconceivable to us today, and they didn't. Some people thought it was bad air that caused the sickness. Some people thought it was the trees, the Pride of India tree. Just scared to death, not knowing how to handle it, and these doctors were coming up with all kinds of new remedies, and one of those we talk about was bark and cayenne pepper, who they thought would cure the fever. Of course it didn't, but so that kind of thing we talk about.
Yeah, well, and it's at the beautiful Davenport House Museum. Let's take a look at the video we have of the museum. We have some of this from last year when we stopped by, and it's just a beautiful house. That's reason enough to go and be a part of it, but truly, like we said, a part of Savannah history, and really just learning so much interesting information about that epidemic and kind of how we can learn from it now, I know. Now let's go ahead and go straight to the graphic as well, because we want to get all of the information if you're interested in coming out. The Davenport House is located on East State Street in downtown Savannah, and these performances are going to be happening every Friday and Saturday night in October. And tell us a little about ticket information briefly. You could call us at our number and get tickets over the phone. You could come in person to do that. You get a discount if you call in advance. We prefer advance tickets just so we'll know how many people are coming. And it's limited space, right?
That's right, limited. Because we want people to have exclusivity in the house.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for telling us all about it. We wish you all the best this month as you go through your performance.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a treat.
Okay, same for us, definitely. Your Good Day Savannah time is 7:48. We're going to be right back with another look at your storm tracker forecast. Stay with us.